Hey y'all, how you doing today? All right, back out in the garage again, and I am out here to work on this, the 8 3/4. This time I'm going to finalize it and get it all set up. Last video I did the pinion, the backlash on the pinion, or not the backlash, the preload on the pinion bearings in here. And so this time I'm going to do the installing of the ring gear and carrier assembly. As you can see, I've already got it in here. It's very, very straightforward. You just need to get your bearing races on, these on, and put in place. Now, I will go through that again with you, that little tidbit, because these caps they're numbered, or they're marked as to their location. So we'll go through that real quickly here. So just to make sure we've got the caps in the correct location. This one is in the correct location. As you can see right here, I got this line I made on that, so that's good. Okay, yeah, here we go. Let's see this here. This one is done the same way right there. Okay, so now ideally you would want this carrier to sit in an upright kind of position, or not maybe upright, but with the nose here facing down. So loading all of this, you going in like this. That's ideally. I don't have an ideal situation here. So I have to work with what I've got. So that's what I'm going to do. Okay. Now, loading all of this in here is not that hard. It's not brain surgery. Okay. The harder work comes from when you are putting putting all of this in there and you're adjusting it and getting it set up correctly. So I'm going to put this whole assembly back in the vise. I'm just using the vise just to hold it in place. That's all I'm really using the vise for. And the vise is pretty good for that. So this is a 741 carrier, for those of you who don't know. And this particular whole assembly is going to go in my Dodge D150 pickup. So all right. So right here, I've got it chucked up in the vise. Yeah, this part here is what I'm chucking up in the vise here. Okay. This part here is that part. So this is actually turned upside down. I know, not ideal. But you have to work with what you got. So this is what I got. This is what I'm working with. So there you go. So now my adjusters, you need to, I don't have these bolts run down tight yet. These adjusters can be a bit of a just chore to get them started and get them started in correctly. other side started here. It's the same thing, just large threaded nut, basically. You want to make sure that the threads are clean. I've already done that. So sometimes there can be a little hang up, a little snag, or something will get snagged. Now what these do, these adjusters, is they push on the race. Okay, so like here's a race, and this nut here will push on this edge of the race right here. Okay, and all the way around. And that's why you want to run this in, and you want to make sure that this adjuster is flat up against the race here all the way around. Okay, so let me get you all a better viewing position, because I'm not liking that position too well right there. It's just not what I consider good. You know what I'm saying? So anyway, there we go. All right, that's maybe a little bit better. Maybe. Okay. All right, both adjusters are started. I'm going to run them in. Now, let me give you a little preface here a little bit of forewarning, okay? Because I feel you deserve that. You're my viewers. And I want you to know, I want to be transparent with you about some things. One, I am not a differential expert at all, okay? So if you're watching this and you're thinking, oh, hey, I'm going to go out here and I'm going to build a differential and it's going to be perfect in every possible way, and I'm going to do it just like Slantfish did. No, don't do that. This is to get your feet wet. This is to show you some of the aspects, some of the things you need to do in order to do this. Now, some of the stuff I'm doing here is correct. And I mean, I'm like following, I've even got a factory service manual here. See? So here's my factory service manual. Okay, but I want you to understand something. I'm not an expert on this. So, you know, I'm just getting my feet wet, and you know, I've had some experience with differentials, but I am nowhere near close to being an expert. I have some experience, but that's about it. All right. So, with that out of the way, couple other things. One, I'd like to say a very big, huge thank you to absolutely everyone for making this year like one of the best years on the channel. Really, really seriously do thank you for that. I really appreciate that. Lots of channel growth has happened this year, and it's just amazing to me. Never would have thought, you know, this much would have happened, but it has, and I'm really thankful for it. And I really appreciate you all for watching. Also, I want to say a big thank you to for everybody for the shares, the likes, and the subscribes, and all the wonderful comments too. There's been a lot of just really great comments. Of course, there's always going to be a few negative comments, you know, but this channel is about learning, and most of my videos are not tutorials. They are actually, I'm sharing this experience that I have with you all, and I am the same as you. Okay, I'm not some high and mighty, you know, big, you know, ASE certified tech, you know, and I know everything about everything. And I mean, yeah, I've got 20 something years experience, but I've also got plenty of I've got plenty of memory of how things were for me when I got started. So, and there was no YouTube. Okay, so I want you all to understand that, you know, this is a sharing experience, and I want to share these experiences with you all. So, you know, hopefully that some of you all can gain something out of some of this, and you can learn a little bit, and you can, you know, It'll help you. So that's what this is all about. It's about inspiration, inspiring, and education. Okay. So education for me, but also, educating for you all too as well. So thank you very much. But let's get back to this here. Oh, and one more thing. Merry Christmas. Have a very good Christmas. Okay. So anyway, let's get back to the differential. All right. So here we go. All right. Anyway, okay. So I'm going to run these bolts down. I'm not going to torque them down all the way, but I am going to run them down some. That way these caps aren't kind of floppy. They're kind of loose and floppy on there right now. But this is how I like to get them started, is get these adjuster nuts started is with these caps loose. So we'll move on to the next thing. Get a socket and get started on this. Now I am just running these down just a little bit. I'm not even getting close to torquing these down. Reason why is if you torque these down, moving these is nearly impossible. Or really it is impossible, because once you torque them down, you can't turn these anymore. All right, so need to get a lot. See that? Got a lot of slop. So got to get that out. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to run these nuts in, these adjuster nuts in, and I'm going to basically, now when you run these in, you're basically pushing the ring gear one way or the other. I'm going to back this off just a little bit, not a lot, because this other adjuster over here is out quite a bit, so I can actually physically see it. There's a gap increasing over here. This gap is actually increasing over here. So my adjuster tool is nothing more than an old spanner for the die grinder, not a die grinder, but the death wheel angle grinder. So, and it's one I can't use anymore because this one, the angle grinder, broke on me. So I still got the tool left, and that's what I'm using it for this. So, there we go. So, all right, now look at there. I took out all my slop. So I think my bearings, okay. All right, absolutely took out all the slop, all the play. So now I'm going to we'll back these off just a little bit, not a great deal. I may have these running just a little bit too much. Yep, I think I do. Just run them in by hand here just a little bit. There we go. Now you may want to get yourself a screwdriver. Just a large flat tip screwdriver, and off just a little bit more. Okay, got something new developing here. Bit of a problem. So this is new. I'm wondering what in the blazes is going on here. Like I said, you're learning with me too. We're both learning together on this. What? This is really, really bizarre. There's a lot of play there. I mean, I cleaned the gears off. So I guess go ahead and golly. Oh. Okay. I'm a doofus. Look. Yep, right there. I was like, what is the problem here? Something is horribly, horribly wrong. Okay, go ahead, laugh. Like I said, we're learning together. Oh my God, look at that. Hey, guess what happens? Yeah. All right. Yeah. Genius at work. Blah, blah, blah. Okay. Let's all have our laugh and move on. Okay. All right. Happens to the best of us. Okay. Well, let's get back. Okay. All righty. So this is a little more like it. Now that I don't have certain rotating items in the vise. Okay. All right. Let's see here. Not a lot of slop there. That's feeling pretty good, actually. Now, when you're doing this, you can, I've read that you can like rotate this one in and rotate it, in a clockwise direction. And the opposite, when you back it out, you can actually physically push this gear over away from the pinion gear and increase the clearance. You can do just the opposite, and you can decrease the clearance. So, let's see here. All right. Okay. All right. Now, they want you, in the manual, it wants you to use a something like this, a rig here like I'm going to set up, and I'm going to move the camera here so you can get a better look at all this. So, and basically in the book they want you to, they want to see this moved around. They don't want you to look to, they basically want you to have, like, take a measurement of the slop in like 3 different locations. So that's what I'm going to do. Of course, it's always interesting to get this set up. It takes a minute or 2 to get it set up, so I do apologize for the... It takes me a minute or 2 to set this up, let's just say that. Okay, let me show you what I'm doing here. All right, so I'm moving. I've got my dial indicator, you know, and it's setting on a gear tooth, ring gear tooth, and I want it to, let me turn that light off, it's a little bit too bright, and I want it to record the amount. I need to see the amount of backlash I have here. So is this, no, that's not going to work. Is that going to work? Well, I need between, you know, so many thousandths. It's 6 to 8. Okay. I know you're a little ways away from the camera, and I do apologize. Or a little ways away from the dial indicator. I do apologize. But I can zoom in. So, you're still a ways away. But I can go ahead and tell you it's more than 8. It's like about 10. So we need to take a little bit away. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to run in this adjuster to push the ring gear that way against the pinion. That's what I want to do. Okay. Can I zoom in a little bit more on that? Maybe not. Okay, I think that's not bad right there. Okay. So, that's about 8. So I took a little bit out. I took about maybe 2 or 3 thousandths out. I got it down to about 6. There. Okay. So if you notice on the ring gear, let me back out. Oop, that's a little too. Okay, so if you notice here on the ring gear, I got 6. But I also got 1 right there. So this is my number 1 location. Okay. So that's what I'm going to do. 6. There's my 6 thousandths. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to move this whole rig, rotate this all to another location, take another reading. Okay? Now, earlier I had run these down, and like I said before, I want to run these down all the way and make them mash right up against that race. Okay? I've got some more of these here to help show you. Here we go. Here's one that's kind of dirty and rusty, but you see? So what you're doing when you're rotating this one way or the other, you're rotating, you rotate it, you're moving this piece, the race, one way or the other. Okay? So that's what I'm talking about. So now I'm going to release the magnet. I want to rotate this to another location. Basically, you want to take 4 measurements, and you want them all to be within like 6 to 8 thousandths of each other. So, all right, so you get the basic gist of what I'm doing here. So I'm going to pause this. I'll come right back and show you a little bit more, okay? Okay, y'all, I've done all my measurements and I've torqued everything down. All the main cap bolts have been torqued down to 85 foot-pounds. So now I'm going to turn this. I'm going to turn this, and I'm going to see where it leaves a mark on the gear tooth with the grease. I tried the yellow marking compound. I'm just not I'm having a lot of difficulty reading it. So anyway, I'm gonna try this. I saw somebody else do this. Scott's Speed Shop. I saw them do this. So yeah, see, here's the yellow marking compound I've used before. But I'm turning this with my finger. Okay. All right, I like what I'm seeing. I'm getting full engagement across the entire tooth, and it's in the center too. I know it sort of looks like mayonnaise and mustard in there because I got yellow gear compound on the ring pinion gear. But there is I don't know if you can see it or not, there's a nice mark in there. I hope you can see that on camera. So let me get an extra light here so you can see what I'm talking about. You see right there? Yeah. Hope I got the shadows and everything correct. But anyway, there you go. Okay. All right. I think I'm going to call this a day on this. It's really close to Christmas. It's like just it's Thursday, and so that's sounding pretty good to me. There's a little bit of noise there, but I'm okay with a little bit of noise. When the noise gets really loud, yeah, then it's like, holy crap. Yeah, then you can't deal with it. You can't live with it. So anyway, all right. Pretty happy with this. Okay. So, remember this little... I still have to go in and put the seal in here, and I may make a separate video on that because this video is already long enough. All right, so thank you so much for watching and staying with me here on. Next is going to be, like I said, we're going to put the pinion seal in this, and then over here on the housing itself, I'm going to make a modification. I have here's a housing right here. This is actually the top side. I'm going to put on the back down here, I'm going to put a drain for the gear oil. So hope I can do that without there being a whole lot of issue. I have a drain. It's a threaded bung and a plug that goes in it. That's by Moroso. Yeah, Moroso. Okay. It's Christmas, or it's very, very close. It's the eve of Christmas Eve. So, thank you so much for watching, and I really do appreciate everything, all the patience with me and everything like that. So, if you have any questions, any comments, any ideas, whatever, post them down below. I'll do my very best to answer your questions and respond to your comments, and just have a great Christmas, Happy New Year, and let's try to remember what Christmas is really all about. Okay, so thank you and God bless.